On the first day of university registration, Tang Tian stood in front of my bed wearing cheap clothes with an arrogant look. When he said this to me, I knew he was also reborn. In my previous life, I felt sorry for Tang Tian, who had poor food and clothes, and was often abused by his parents who favored boys over girls, so I was kind enough to help him. I never expected that not only did my good deed not get the due reward, but he also ruined my family. After Tang Tian returned from studying abroad with a doctorate, he took the initiative to ask to join my parents' company, in the name of repaying his kindness, but secretly seduced my fiancé Wenxuan, and worked together with Wenxuan to seize my family's company. My father couldn't accept it, and listed the inheritance of our ancestors fell into the hands of outsiders. He suffered a heart attack and died before he was sent to the hospital. My father's sudden death dealt a great blow to my mother. My mother became confused and unconscious. One day, she took an overdose of sleeping pills and died despite rescue efforts. On the day of my mother's burial, Tang Tian not only did not feel any guilt or sadness, but gloated over her misfortune. Ye Si Mian, you can only blame yourself for being incompetent. If you didn't trust Wenxuan and me so much, the Ye family wouldn't have ended up like this. Tang Tian was proud to hold Wenxuan's arm. Now you deserve to be left with nothing. By the way, I'll let you know. Wenxuan and I are getting married next month. Tang Tian deliberately said in my ear, you will be wearing your favorite custom-made wedding dress that day, but it's a pity that you won't be able to see it. You will definitely not die a good death. I gritted my teeth and looked at the photos of my parents on the tombstone. I really wanted to kill them with my own hands. Tang Tian laughed even more arrogantly. He said viciously, that's your end. When I drove from the destination that day, I found that my brakes suddenly failed. Recalling what Tang Tian said, I can be sure that it was him and Wenxuan who did it. I collided with a large truck and the car was destroyed and people died. When I opened my eyes again, it was just a month ago. This time I will definitely protect my family and I will make them pay for their blood debt. Compensation, why? I asked, trying hard to restrain the urge to slap him to death. I could not reveal that I was reborn, otherwise how could I happily take revenge? As long as you sponsor me, I can successfully finish college and be admitted to graduate school, and finally study abroad and become a returnee. The doctorate will bring you honor. Tang Tian looked arrogant, as if it was my honor to sponsor him. I sneered inwardly. Being honored is like a piece of shit, which will only get maggots. But on the surface, I still showed a very surprised expression. How did you know that you would be so powerful in the future? Of course, people with strength have this confidence. Tang Tian said proudly. Then I will take the exam. Think about it and think about it again. Tang Tian looked unhappy. The money is not mine. I have to tell my parents. Don't make me wait too long. Tang Tian was a little impatient. I smiled and didn't respond to him. Tang Tian didn't pester me for too long. He probably believed that I would definitely support him. After all, I always responded to his requests in the last life. From the day I supported him, I would not refuse him anything to eat, wear or use. Gradually, he felt that it was natural for him to spend my money, and even use my money to recharge and make friends with all kinds of people. My classmates all thought that Tang Tian was loyal and a good person. On the contrary, my family, he has so much money but he is so stingy. Thinking of the past, the suppressed anger burned again, but I forced myself not to show it. Anyway, he would get the retribution he deserved soon. A month later, I was reading and studying in the library when Tang Tian suddenly walked up to me angrily, and asked me when Ye Si Mian would support me. Do you know that this makes it very difficult for me? I was stunned to see his shamelessness. What do you mean I won't support him? He is in a difficult situation. Whether I support him or not is my right, not my obligation. The classmates who were reading in the library were also stunned by his words. Before I even opened my mouth, someone spoke up for me. I spoke up. Is this person born with such a big face? When did the sponsor people become so incredible? I've never seen such a shameless person in my life. The one who eats shit forces the one who poops to death. This is the first time I've seen such a shameless person. Tang Tian was embarrassed by the words of classmates in groups of 3 or 4. He accused me with a red face that he promised to sponsor me but never took action. I even gave up the application for scholarship because of him. I thought that since I had someone to sponsor me, I shouldn't take up the quota of other poor students. I didn't expect that it has been a month since the school started and he hasn't given me a penny. Tang Tian's gossip made the classmates around him very excited. The students had a different opinion of him. Those unfriendly eyes were instantly transferred to me. Tang Tian smiled proudly. In his mind, he could control it very well. I did this in my last life and this was even easier. He saw that public opinion began to turn, so he pretended to be pitiful and said to Ye Si Mian, your family is so rich and the monthly living expenses are tens of thousands. You can sprinkle a little rain for us poor students, to have food to eat, clothes to wear and books to read. Can't you be kind? Will your kindness be exchanged for your ruthlessness? I said calmly, my family is indeed rich but no one's money comes from the wind. Of course I can sponsor poor students but I don't want to sponsor every poor student. I also need to understand his character. What if I sponsor an ungrateful person? Not only will he not get anything good out of him, but he will also bring a scourge to the society. Isn't that a sin? Tang Tian's face sank immediately. She naturally understood my obvious sarcasm. The classmates around her also thought that what I said made sense. Tang Tian was a little anxious. She shouted, but you promised to sponsor me at the beginning, and now you say you want to understand me. You've known me for a month, don't you know me enough? Because of you, I gave up my precious scholarship. If I remember correctly, he didn't get the scholarship in his previous life. He didn't have it in the first place. Advantages, his poverty is not due to his family's economic reasons, but his family's preference for boys over girls. He was able to go to college because his family thought that with a college diploma, he could ask for more dowry when he got married. His family hoped to spend the least money on him so that he could get a diploma and return to his hometown to get married. It was me who helped him get away from his original family, but in the end he killed the whole family. I never promised to support you, nor did I ask you to give up your application for a scholarship. I spoke word by word with anger in my voice. You agreed to me on the first day of school. Tang Tian wanted to refute, but I was too lazy to talk nonsense with him, so I directly released the recording of my conversation with him that day. Our recorded conversation was in and everyone in the quiet library could hear it clearly. I only said that I would consider sponsoring him, and I never said that I would definitely sponsor him. There were more discussions around. This man was too confident. How could he take it for granted that Ye Si Mian would sponsor him? That's right, people said they would consider it, but they didn't say they would definitely sponsor him. He has given up his application for a scholarship now. How can he have the nerve to blame Ye Si Mian? Listen to the way Ye Si Mian sponsored him, as if Ye Si Mian's ancestors were proud of it. How could he be so shameless? Tang Tian looked embarrassed. He probably didn't expect that I would actually leave a recording. It's a joke that I was hurt so badly by him in my previous life. Can't I be more careful in this world? He looked at me fiercely. Ye Si Mian didn't want to support me, you can just say it clearly. Do you have to make me so embarrassed? Now I finally know that rich people are more stingy than poor people. No wonder they are so rich. Others are rich and what others do is their business. My classmates are standing up for me. Do you think you are right just because you are poor? You can only blame your parents for not doing anything. How can you blame it on some rich people? What kind of bandit logic is this? Has he read so many years of books in vain? Tang Tian saw that he couldn't win the argument, and left angrily amid the condemnation of the people around him. I thought he would be quiet for a while, but I didn't expect that I had just come out of the library. When I came, I saw him waiting for me not far from the door again. Ye Si Mian forced me to side, and I really didn't know how he could be so shameless. When I thought about it carefully, maybe it was because of his achievements in the previous life. He successfully snatched away my fiancé and successfully seized my family's property, so he didn't take me seriously at all. Are you going to support me or not? Ye Si Mian asked me, and if he didn't support me, I would be too lazy to get entangled with him. In this life, in addition to revenge on this scumbag and bitch, I must also study hard. In the previous life, because I listened to the scumbag slander, he said that he would help me manage the company so that I wouldn't have to study so hard, he would feel bad. And with my kindness, I didn't compete with Tang Tian for the title of guaranteed admission to graduate school. As a result, I started to study sloppily during college and then problems really arose at home. I had no ability to turn the tide and be reborn, and I certainly couldn't repeat the same mistakes. Why did Tang Tian angrily ask me, why don't you support me? The money is mine, you can use it however you want, why should I give you a reason? I looked at him with amusement. Tang Tian's face turned green with anger, and at this moment he probably hasn't figured out what went wrong. You just watched me eat poorly, wear warm clothes, and finally be sold to someone else as a wife by my parents. Will I have no freedom from now on? Tang Tian morally blackmailed me, and his attitude was still very strong. You and I have no relatives, how is your life? What does it have to do with me? I asked him back. Tang Tian gritted his teeth and said as a matter of course, then you help me go to the cafeteria first, pay back the money for helping me keep accounts. I thought I heard wrongly. Wasn't what I just said clear enough? He has nothing to do with me. Just think of it as I borrowed it from you, and I will pay you back 3 times when I make money in the future. Tang Tian has a condescending attitude. I tell you, Ye Si Mian, you'd better treat me nicer now, otherwise you will know in the future. There is a saying that goes 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west. How much is it? I asked. I was a little curious about how much Tang Tian borrowed from the cafeteria, and he kept asking me to help him pay back the money, and it wasn't much. Tang Tian probably thought I compromised, and his tone became more presumptuous. Only 5,800, how much more? Just give me 6,000 yuan more. I really laughed. I eat in the cafeteria for a month, and even eat 3 meals a day in the cafeteria, which is only 1,500 yuan. How did he spend 6,000 yuan? On second thought, he should have used my money to charge classmates and build interpersonal relationships like in his previous life. Considering the wealth and glory he enjoyed in his previous life, these few thousand yuan are really nothing to him. You can just send it to me on WeChat. Tang Tian saw that I didn't say anything, and said as a matter of course, how do I know that you will be able to make money to pay me back in the future? I asked him in return. Tang Tian was obviously angry. Before he could speak, I asked again, what else? What happened 30 years later? Who knows why I would invest or even waste my feelings on a person with whom I can't see any future? Ye Si Mian, how have you changed? Tang Tian couldn't stand it anymore and yelled at me. It was obvious that he found that I was different from my previous life, and he should have started to have some ideas in his mind. Are you and I familiar with each other? How come I didn't know that I had changed? I pretended to know nothing and looked at him. Tang Tian probably suspected that I was also reborn, but seeing how confused I was, he thought maybe he was too suspicious, so he endured it and didn't ask in the end. He asked if you were sure you didn't want to support me. He was not sure before, but with your current attitude I am sure. I spoke word by word. Tang Tian gritted his teeth and said, then you don't plan to lend me money either. If you don't plan to, I will reply again with certainty. Okay, Ye Si Mian, don't regret it in the end. After leaving this sentence, Tang Tian left angrily. Looking at his exasperated back, I couldn't help but feel refreshed. Of course, this is far from enough. His retribution is still to come. First of all, 5,800 yuan was enough to teach him a lesson. After that, Tang Tian never said a word to me. She teamed up with other roommates to isolate me, saying that I relied on my wealth to look down on ordinary students like them. I did not defend myself. Anyway, in my last life I had a bad relationship with my classmates because of Tang Tian's secret instigation. There was no need to put my face on the cold, but in this life, studying was more important. On the afternoon of the National Day holiday, I saw Wenxuan at the school gate. Wenxuan was 3 years older than me. He was a senior this year and was already in his Wenxuan as an intern at a company. He drove a Panamera to pick me up from school. From a distance, I saw Tang Tian standing in front of Wenxuan. Tang Tian looked shy and kept talking to Wenxuan. Wenxuan was a little indifferent. It was nonsense that Wenxuan would not be liked by everyone. In the previous life, Tang Tian had certain abilities that made her appreciated by Wenxuan. How could the current Wenxuan be interested in a poor student? I walked over without leaving a trace. Wenxuan saw me and quickly left Tang Tian. He easily put his arm around my waist. Very gentle and doting, but I couldn't stop feeling disgusted in my heart. But I endured it. I saw jealousy and anger in Tang Tian's eyes. Why are you here? I pretended to be intimate and asked Wenxuan. I came because I missed you. Wenxuan also did not hide his love for me. My mother asked you to come to my house for dinner in the evening, saying that she hadn't seen you for a long time, and she missed you and my aunt. I took Wenxuan's arm and said, let's go. Wenxuan and I left together, only to feel a very unfriendly gaze behind me, wishing to eat me alive. Thinking about the time when Tang Tian and Wenxuan after Wenxuan confirmed the relationship, Tang Tianka was too arrogant in front of me. Of course I can't accept it now. I pretended not to know how good Wenxuan was to me. I sat on the passenger seat of Wenxuan's car and asked, is it hard to go to college? Wenxuan asked me while driving. Don't be too hard, I will feel bad. Wenxuan freed one hand and held my hand tightly. I just want you to be happy and live a carefree life. No matter what you encounter in the future, I will be your strong backing. I was blinded by Wenxuan's sweet words all my life. Did I in my previous life? Was it because I was drugged or was I bewitched by Wenxuan? Anyway, on this day Wenxuan and I had sex, and the next day the one group reported its business failure. Later, my father invested in them to help them overcome the difficulties. In my reborn life, how could I let him succeed again? However, my mother prepared a large table of dishes for you to eat. She even cooked the sweet and sour pork ribs that you like. Wenxuan was obviously unwilling. Next time say sorry to your aunt. Next time I will go to your house to apologize. I am still determined. What else did Wenxuan want to say? To you Wenxuan, your mother's prepared dinner is more important than my mother's health. Before Wenxuan breaks me, I will take the initiative to treat him with his own way. Wenxuan finally didn't say what was on his lips, but I could clearly feel that he was obviously unhappy. How could I feel that Wenxuan was the best person in the world to me in the previous life? Maybe it was because I obeyed him in everything. The National Day passed quickly. During that time, Wenxuan kept wanting me to go to his house, and I found various reasons to refuse. Of course I couldn't give him the chance to frame me, and of course I didn't have a falling out with him. He, like Tang Tian, deserved retribution, but the time had not come yet. When I returned to school after the National Day, as soon as I arrived at the dormitory door, I heard Tang Tian say smugly, does Ye Si Mian think that he is the only rich man in the world? I'm dying of laughter. Now he's found someone richer than him to support me, let alone. A roommate at the door reminded him. Tang Tian glanced at me and didn't take me seriously at all. He was deliberately acting weird. What's the big deal? All his money comes from his parents. Besides, who knows if there will be any changes in the future? Maybe one day he will become a pauper. I pretended not to hear it and returned to my bed very calmly. I was still a little surprised in my heart. Where did Tang Tian find someone to support him? Most rich people would rather do charity than support college students. After all, charity is more explicit. Could it be that I swallowed my guesses and decided to wait and see? Why didn't I say anything? Tang Tian walked up to me and said proudly, do you think that if you don't support me, no one will support me? Don't you feel embarrassed? Ye Si Mian, I didn't say anything and took out my books. Do you know how good the person who sponsored me is to me? He gave me 5,000 yuan a month for living expenses and also gave me branded bags and expensive cosmetics. Tang Tian continued to show off in front of me. I was really tired of listening to her. Yes, is this being sponsored or being kept? Well, Tang Tian was extremely embarrassed by my sarcasm. Although the other roommates had always stood on Tang Tian's side, after hearing what I said, they seemed to think that the second possibility was more likely. After all, which sponsor can be so generous? It's not like they have too much money to burn. Do you think everyone is as dirty as you? The person who sponsored me is an old lady. She has plenty of money. Tang Tian retorted excitedly. What does it have to do with me? I acted as if I didn't care. Please don't disturb me. Study. Tang Tian smiled sarcastically. Ye Si Mian, are you a good student? I heard that the reason you were able to enter our school was because your father donated a building to the school. I don't know how this rumor was spread in the previous life. It was probably when I was in college. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because you have a backdoor? You will be punished one day. Yes, the retribution will come soon. I am sarcastic because Tang Tian's rumor-mongering not only brought me reputational damage, but also directly led to the misunderstanding of the counselors, teachers of various subjects, and even the school leaders. The school immediately attached great importance to it and conducted a thorough investigation. Of course, it was purely a rumor. The school announced the truth and punished Tang Tian for maliciously spreading rumors with a serious warning. He was also ordered to write a letter of apology and hang it on the homepage of the school's confession wall. This is the real slap in the face. Of course, this is nothing. Anyway, Tang Tian is thick-skinned. The biggest impact on him is that the serious warning will directly affect his admission to graduate school and even his qualification for the postgraduate entrance examination, which directly made Tang Tian anxious. For him, not being able to take the postgraduate entrance examination is a big deal. After all, he is looking forward to going abroad after the postgraduate entrance examination, and then returning to China to be with Wenxuan and seize my company. I really don't know whether Tang Tian's grades in his previous life were too good, making him too conceited, or whether he is stupid to the extreme. I have broken up with him to this point now. How did he think he could still join my company and work with Wenxuan? Of course, taking the postgraduate entrance examination and going abroad is Tang Tian's only way to get rid of his original family and make a fortune. If he loses it, it is equivalent to losing his life. He can't accept it at all. The classmates around him also began to complain about him. Now he is pointed at wherever he goes. Some people are vicious and can't stand to see others do well. So funny. When they can't get the first place in the exam, they say others cheated. Without any evidence, they spread rumors on the confession wall. Why didn't the school expel him? Have you heard that he is being kept by someone? It's nominally funded, but in fact it's just finding a sponsor. Now he has suddenly become rich, no wonder he is so arrogant. His roommates also began to gradually distance themselves from Tang Tian. After a long time, they could naturally see what kind of person he was. Tang Tian also collapsed and was depressed for many days. I thought Tang Tian should have learned some lessons, but I didn't expect that in less than a week, Tang Tian was full of energy again, as if nothing had happened. This really surprised me. Tang Tian was not so heartless. Of course, I didn't say anything but just observed secretly. Then I saw that Tang Tian suddenly began to learn English frantically, and secretly signed up for the IELTS and TOEFL exams. At that moment, I knew that Tang Tian was going to go abroad directly. Was he planning to go abroad without taking the postgraduate entrance examination? Who gave him such courage that he didn't have to worry about the cost of going abroad? Was it really him? One day in the last semester of college, Tang Tian suddenly bought a lot of they celebrated in the dormitory with delicious food, in order to distance themselves from his roommates, and because of Tang Tian's sweet talk, they became good friends. I heard them saying to him, Tian Tian, don't forget us when you go out and become rich, we are your best friends, I'm so envious you can study abroad before you graduate from college, Tian Tian. You really met a good person. Tang Tian has always enjoyed this kind of compliment, he said proudly. It's not just that I met a good person, it's also my ability, well, who is so amazing that he can pass the formal exams in just half a year to study abroad. Can he do it? Of course he was referring to me. I didn't say anything. In the past year and a half I've gotten used to his sarcasm towards me. Of course it's not that I don't care. It's just that he's the one who gets slapped in the face every time. Ye Si Mian, you're so amazing. You get the first place in the exams every year. Don't you want to go abroad? Tang Tian deliberately asked. I don't need to go abroad yet. Is it that I don't need to? Or am I afraid that I won't be admitted and end up studying in a fake university? Tang Tian deliberately used words to provoke me. I don't need to explain to you, I said coldly. You. Tang Tian blushed when I said that. The roommate hurriedly persuaded him. Tian Tian, don't be angry. He is not jealous of you. Hasn't he been like this since the first day of college? He is a rich man. He can't bear to see others become rich. Tian Tian, you must be better than him in the future. We are all waiting for you to get rich. Tang Tian felt much better when he heard his roommate's words, but of course he will become the richest man in the future, madam. I found it really funny when I heard it. He should be talking about Wenxuan's wife. This basically confirmed my guess. If you become rich, don't forget each other. Everyone, don't worry. When I become rich, I will definitely let you make a lot of money with me, Tang Tian said generously. I found it especially funny. It would be my fault if I let you go abroad smoothly. I will also let you feel the feeling of falling from the sky to the ground when you are about to reach the high point. The next day, Tang Tian invited several roommates to go out for lunch. As soon as they walked down the dormitory building, they heard a scream. Tang Tian, are you rebelling? It was lunchtime at this moment. Many classmates around were frightened by the scream. Mom, why are you here? Tang Tian looked at her cousins and her younger brother in shock. If they didn't come, you would go abroad. Tang's mother walked straight to Tang Tian and grabbed her hair. Several roommates were frightened by her mother's amazing behavior and quickly stepped back. Tang. She was screaming crazily and had no image at all. More and more people were watching the fun, including me. Let me go, Mom, let me go first. How come you are so strong after graduating from college and are going abroad? Are you planning to never come back after going abroad? I raised you to this age, and all I did was raise a money loser. Tom scolded him fiercely, without reducing the strength in his hands. Let me go first, it hurts so much. Tang Tian collapsed and screamed. Tom pushed Tang Tian away. Tang Tian took several steps back. His hair was a mess, and he looked extremely embarrassed. There were also some whispers around. This seemed to be the one Tang Tian heard was going to study abroad. What happened? Why did his mother treat him like this? Didn't Tang Tian say that his family was very poor, so there were kind people who sponsored him? Looking at what his parents and his brother were wearing, everything is fine. His brother's pair of shoes seems to be a limited edition sneaker, which will be sold for more than 2,000 yuan. Is Tang Tian pretending to be poor? It's a bit disgusting. Tang Tian didn't even bother to explain and yelled to his mother. Why did you come here? I don't want to see you. You don't want to see us. I raised you and sent you to college. Do you think you can just pat your butt and leave? Tang's mother didn't give Tang Tian any face at all. I tell you, don't dream. I will go to the school now to apply for your withdrawal application and take you home immediately. I won't let you go anywhere. Why do you control my life? Why won't I go back? I want to go abroad, Tang Zhe. Tang's mother suddenly asked Tang Tian's brother to drag him away. Don't touch me. Tang Tian collapsed and shouted to his roommates. Help me quickly. Help me push them away. My roommates didn't dare to do so and hid behind the crowd for fear of being implicated. Tang Tian shouted. For more than a year you have eaten my food and used my things, but now you don't care about me, right? How can you be so heartless? Tang Tian's accusation also made the classmates around her point fingers at these roommates. Several roommates were extremely embarrassed and finally left the crowd. Tang Tian watched them leave and knew that no one would help her. She could only beg for mercy frantically. But the Tang family members didn't show any mercy and dragged her away. At the moment of leaving, he seemed to turn his head and saw me. Seeing that I was laughing, Tang Tian suddenly reacted with a smile. Ye Si Mian, you did it, didn't you? You were also reborn, right? I smiled without saying a word. Tang Tian was stimulated even more crazy by my appearance. Fortunately, he was soon taken away by the Tang family. He was gone for a long time. There were also classmates whispering, of course most of them were sarcastic. After all, Tang Tian was too high profile in school, and few people could stand him except for a few roommates who were bribed by him. Facts have proved that these roommates were just greedy for money. Of course I was also gloating. What Tang Tian said was right. I had arranged all this. Before Tang Tian went abroad in his previous life, he entrusted me to tell his family. I thought I had done a good thing, but I didn't expect that when I went to tell his family, I was almost beaten to death by his parents. His parents said that I was meddling in other people's business, asking why I sent their daughter abroad, and also saying that I was a human trafficker. I have never suffered such a great humiliation since I was a child, but I never cared about it before, thinking that Tang Tian entrusted me because she was worried that his parents would not understand. Now I can I'm sure he did it on purpose. Maybe he wanted me to be beaten to death by his parents. After all, Tang Tian had met my parents at that time, and my parents were very good to him. If I died, his family would be sentenced for murder. Not only would he be completely separated from his original family, but he could also replace me openly. It would be a one-time solution. Now it's time for Tang Tian to have a taste of what he has sown. Not long after, I heard that Tang Tian's application for withdrawal was approved. Tang Tian had a serious demerit to begin with, and she said everywhere that she was going to study abroad. The school didn't try to retain her and directly processed her expulsion. I also inquired about overseas training institutions, and heard that Tang Tian had also taken the initiative to give up the opportunity to study abroad. In other words, Tang Tian was completely controlled by her parents, and it is very likely that she is already preparing to get married, and her life in this life is basically set in stone, completely ruined. I don't know if Wenxuan will regret investing in Tang Tian after working so hard for so long. All the capital for showing off to Tang Tian during this period came from Wenxuan. As for why Wenxuan was seduced by Tang Tian, there didn't need to be too many surprises. The top was something Tang Tian could do, and this one was even easier. He knew what Wenxuan liked and how to make Wenxuan irresistible to him. What's more, he had lived a lot of history. As long as he told Wenxuan that he was reborn and worked with him, he could occupy my family's company and replace my family as the richest man. Wenxuan would definitely believe what Tang Tian said because he had always had this idea deep in his heart, to rob my family's wealth, and Tang Tian just happened to coincide with his plan. They thought they did it perfectly, but they didn't know that they were under my surveillance. I was very clear about every step they took, including when the two of them had sex. It was so disgusting. When I thought about the time when Wenxuan and I were together in the last life, he said sweet words to me on the surface, but he was talking dirty to Tang Tian in private, which made me feel sick. I'm glad that God has eyes and I've been reborn. Now that I have taken revenge on Tang Tian, it's Wenxuan's turn. I won't let anyone who hurt me go. On my 20th birthday, it had been half a year since Tang Tian completely disappeared from my world. Wenxuan said he would hold a private birthday party for me. In the past 2 years, I have been hot and cold towards Wenxuan, and Wenxuan has always been enthusiastic about me. Of course, it's only on the surface. Privately, he doesn't know how hot he is with Tang Tian, because he was immersed in the happiness with Tang Tian. He didn't launch too fierce and offensive against me. Now that Tang Tian is gone, he seems to react suddenly and has started to pursue me relentlessly in the past 6 months. I rejected Wenxuan's private party on the grounds that my parents had prepared a 20th birthday party for me. Wenxuan was a little unhappy, but still agreed considerately. On my birthday, I changed into a beautiful dress and accepted the blessings from relatives and friends. Wenxuan was also dressed very handsome that day. Everyone said that he and I were a perfect match and I was very happy. I acted in love with Wenxuan, but deep down, I knew clearly what Wenxuan was planning for today. I remained calm and pretended to know nothing. At the birthday party, when relatives sent blessings on behalf of the family, my father sent the blessing on his behalf. I went on stage to speak on behalf of our family. Seeing my dad's radiant and energetic appearance, I couldn't help feeling sad. Although I have been reborn for 2 years, I still think of the scene when my dad died. During that time, my dad lost 20 pounds and his hair turned gray, which was very different from his current appearance. My eyes were red, and I tried hard to hide my inner discomfort and extreme anger. The hatred of the last life was finally coming to an end. After my dad finished speaking, Wenxuan walked onto the stage with high enthusiasm. The audience burst into warm applause. Someone at the scene deliberately blew the whistle to stir up the atmosphere. I actually knew what Wenxuan was going to do. He was going to propose to me. Because of my attitude towards him during this period, he couldn't control me well now, but he couldn't wait. Wen's group persisted for 2 years, and the company's loopholes became more and more. The bigger the company is, the capital chain would have been broken long ago. If it drags on, it will declare bankruptcy in a month. Of course, Wen's group has been hiding it very well. At least few people know about Wen's situation now. In addition, outsiders see the relationship between Wenxuan and me, and conclude that Wen's cannot be short of money. If it is short of money, our family will help. The fact is that in the past 2 years, I have not allowed Wenxuan to find a chance to ask our family for investment, so he chose this extreme method. He believes that I will not refuse him in front of so many people. To put it bluntly, it is forced marriage. Once I agree, Wenxuan will immediately ask our family for capital injection under the excuse of being a family. His calculations are very loud, But he doesn't know that his retribution has finally come. In front of all the guests, Wen Xuan suddenly knelt on one knee in front of me before the whole audience cheered. Most people knew that he was going to propose. They kept it secret from me because they wanted to give me a surprise. Wen Xuan said, Mian Mian, we have known each other since the moment you were born. We have known each other for 20 years. I have been with you from a child to such a graceful young lady. I have been with you as you grow up day by day. And I have become addicted to you day by day. I am very glad that I mustered up the courage to confess to you when you were 16 years old. Otherwise, I don't know if such an outstanding person like you would become someone else's girlfriend. I don't even dare to imagine such a possibility. Mian Mian, I love you and I will only love you in my life. I am afraid that even the collapse of the sky and the crack of the earth cannot stop my love for you. Wen Xuan said. His eyes suddenly turned red. He looked like he loved me deeply. Many people were moved by his sincerity and affection. He said, Mian Mian, will you marry me? From now on there is only you in my world. I will love you, cherish you, care about you and protect you. I promise that I will only have one woman in my life. If I betray you, I will be struck by lightning and die a miserable death. He swore a poisonous oath. If I hadn't seen him in the most disgusting and shameless way in my life, I would probably be deceived by him again. He took out the ring and handed it to me with trembling hands. I saw the ring, and it was at that moment that I realized that the ring he used to propose to me was a fake. It was not a real diamond at all. It was just a few dozen dollars, but it moved me for so many years. Okay, I agreed. The whole audience applauded. Wen Xuan was very excited and looked extremely happy, but I still saw the cunning hidden in his eyes. Wen Xuan put the ring on my ring finger. He stood up from the ground and hugged me tightly in his arms. He said I also prepared a surprise for Mian Mian, which is a collection of our photos from childhood to adulthood. Happy birthday to you. Wen Xuan thought he had played sincerity and romance to the extreme, but he never expected that the biggest shame of his life would be played on the big screen on the stage. This will become the biggest stain in his life. It will never be erased. There was only a white patch on the screen, although it was slightly mosaicked, but those things were still clear at a glance. The clarity of the video also made it clear who the two protagonists were. One was Tang Tian, who most people here didn't know, and the other was Wen Xuan, who had just proposed. And in the video at this moment, the tricks he and Tang Tian played were simply unbearable to watch. There was an uproar at the scene. Everyone was stunned. The smile on Wen Xuan's face instantly turned into horror. The whole person was completely out of control, and he reacted. At that moment he yelled at the staff like crazy, asking them to stop playing, but the staff didn't listen to him. He smashed the screen in a rage. There was a loud bang. Everyone in the banquet hall was scared. The scene was a little chaotic, but soon it quieted down, probably because everyone wanted to see how Wen Xuan would save himself. Everyone wanted to see Wen Xuan's embarrassment. Such a quick slap in the face, it would be like an explosion anywhere. I'm sorry. Wen Xuan looked at me. His face was full of panic. He didn't think he had done anything wrong. He was just panicked because of fear. I won't accept it again. If I accept his proposal, he won't be able to get the money from my family. I'm sorry, Mian Mian. Please listen to my explanation. Wen Xuan pulled my hand very hard. I felt the pain, frowned and tried to shake him off. Mian Mian is not like what you see. I was framed by someone. I was framed by Tang Tian. He drugged me. I was out of control and made this mistake. I am sincere to you. We have been in love for so many years. Would you not believe in me? Wen Xuan said quickly and anxiously. He was eager to get my forgiveness, but I didn't respond for a long time. Mian Mian gave me a. Wen Xuan kept looking into my eyes and kept expecting me to nod. I remained indifferent. Wen Xuan's eyes turned red with anxiety and his voice was extremely humble. Mian Mian, I really love you. I only love you. I swear there won't be a next time. I beg you to forgive me this time, okay? Then kneel down and beg me. I opened my mouth. Wen Xuan was stunned for a moment, thinking he had heard wrongly. I saw that the other guests were also a little confused. It had come to this, so should I forgive him? My father and mother couldn't hold back. Mian Mian obviously didn't want me to forgive him. Then at that moment, Wen Xuan knelt on the ground, fearing that I would regret it. He said, Mian Mian, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. Let me use time to prove my love for you. I looked at Wen Xuan and saw his embarrassed look as he knelt on the ground begging me. It was really gratifying. When I thought of his cruelty to me in the last life, and everything he and Tang Tian did to me, I wanted to cut him into pieces. I said to Wen Xuan word by word that I didn't forgive him. Wen Xuan looked at me with wide eyes, unable to believe it, saying that I said I didn't forgive him and I would never forgive him in this life. Mian Mian, I have said it all. The reason Wen Xuan was a little impatient. He thought that if he knelt down, everything would be solved. It was really funny. I just wanted to make him more embarrassed, but it didn't mean I would accept it. Then you asked me to kneel down. Wen Xuan couldn't control his temper. No matter what, Wen Xuan was still the eldest son of the one group. When did he ever say such a sentence? I asked you to kneel down only because you did something wrong to me, not that I have to forgive you, I said coldly. Wen Xuan was so angry that his whole body was shaking. Of course it was far from enough. I directly took off the cap he had just put on me. I said to him, if I'm not mistaken, this is something that cost tens of dollars at a roadside stall. You're talking nonsense. Wen Xuan was choked by me and said weakly, I spent hundreds of thousands to buy this. It's agate. Let's find someone to identify it. It just so happens that I have a friend who specializes in diamond identification. As I said this, my friend came on stage, picked up the diamond and looked at it against the light for a few times, and said with disgust on his face, this level of fake, if you ask me to identify it, it's like smearing my eyes. Let's put it this way, it's not even a moissanite. The whole audience was in an uproar. They couldn't believe it. Wen Xuan came out. Forget about cheating. A man saying one thing in front of you and another behind your back. Although it is unforgivable, it is still within everyone's cognition. But using a diamond ring worth dozens of dollars, pretending it is a ring worth hundreds of thousands, to propose marriage is really rare. You just said that you were framed for cheating, so now you are also deceived by proposing marriage with a fake diamond. I asked Wenxuan sarcastically. Wenxuan was embarrassed. His face turned red and white. After all, he is thick-skinned. He said, Mian Mian, you have to understand me. I really have a reason to be like this. I really didn't use this to perfunctory you. I promise you. I will wait for you in the future. I will definitely give you a bigger diamond. Okay? What's the reason? I sneered and exposed him directly. I heard that Wen's group is short of funds and has lost tens of billions. If they can't find anyone to inject capital, they will declare bankruptcy. Right? As soon as I said this, people immediately started talking about it. What Wen's going to go bankrupt? A few days ago, they asked me to inject capital and said they wanted to start a new project. I was still considering whether to invest. Based on the relationship between Wen and Ye's group, I never thought that they would be short of money. Fortunately, Ye Si Mian reminded me, otherwise my money would be wasted. Saying that Wenxuan proposed to Ye Si Mian just for money, isn't it too shameless, a despicable villain? Fortunately, he was exposed on the spot. It's really gratifying. I smiled brightly when I heard it. I just want to cut off all the roads of the Wen family and make them unable to turn over. Wenxuan finally couldn't say a word, but he didn't leave immediately, probably because he still didn't give up, still thinking that he could turn the tide, he could get my forgiveness. It's easy to make him speak and want to defend himself. I interrupted him directly. Wenxuan, do you know why I know so much? Wenxian was stunned for a moment because Tang Tian was not the only one who was reborn. Wenxuan was stunned for a moment, and there was disbelief in his eyes. So I knew everything he knew and even knew more than him. I smiled coldly, looking at Wenxuan, who was like a stray dog, and didn't want to waste time on him anymore. Today is my birthday party, and my goal has been achieved. I can't let a little bit of rat shit spoil the whole pot of porridge. I called the security guard and threw Wenxuan out. Of course, Wenxuan's parents came too, and they were also extremely embarrassed at the moment, so they left. The farce was over, and I saw my parents walking over. I said to him with relief, Nian Nian, you have really grown up. He was obviously very satisfied with the way I handled it today. I threw myself into his arms and choked up and said, I will protect you in the future. Less than a month later, Wen's declared bankruptcy. Wenxuan wanted to come to me again, but was kicked out by my parents. I don't know how such a person would dare to appear in front of me. Later, I heard that Wenxuan was used to the life of a young master, and couldn't accept that his family was penniless and even heavily in debt, so he took a shortcut to gamble. The more he gambled, the more he lost. He also owed a lot of usury. It was said that his right hand was chopped off. Later, I heard that he died in the moat. There were rumors that he drank heavily every day, was in a daze one night, and fell into the moat by himself. When he was found, his body was swollen. After Wenxuan's death, his parents could not accept the blow and died one after another soon after. It was really a case of evildoers getting evil consequences. Many years later, I returned from studying abroad and took over my father's company. My father lived in seclusion in the second line, and his main task was to accompany my mother on trips. That day when I got off work, I suddenly saw a familiar figure on the road. If I didn't look carefully, I really couldn't recognize him. That was Tang Tian, only in his 20s but already 40 years old. He was holding a child in front and carrying another on his back. Both children were very small. As he walked, he was scolded by the man next to him. He was slapped twice when he was unhappy. Tang Tian cried loudly, "Stop hitting me, I know I was wrong. I will never run away again. I beg you not to hit me." I watched them leave in front of me. The assistant asked me, "Mr. Yi, do you know him?" I closed the car window and said, "I don't know him. This kind of person is not qualified to appear in my world. My world ends with glory and brilliance." The whole text is over.